In security matters, the Defense Innovation Unit Experimental. In August, Defense Secretary Ash Carter opened DIUx in the heart of Silicon Valley. The goal was to engage DoD with the startup community to innovate and transition to new technologies and business practices. DIUx is already bearing fruit. In March, the Pentagon announced 22 pilot projects, but funding could be a concern. Joining me with the latest is Tony Bertuca, Chief Editor at Inside the Pentagon. All right, Tony, refresh our collective memories. What is the Defense Innovation Unit Experimental? How does it differ from DARPA, for example?
Well, the DIUx bills itself as the Match.com of Pentagon acquisition. Their job is to perform outreach with promising commercial technology companies in Silicon Valley and see if they can make a match somewhere in DoD. Their mission is smaller than DARPA's. DARPA is a $3 billion organization. Their job is to actually turn screws on promising technology and develop new leap-ahead capabilities. It's a little bit different.
All right, makes sense. Good comparison, too. You write that DIUx is pegged for $30 million a year between fiscal years 2017 and 2021. What would that money pay for?
Well, right now it pays for the Silicon Valley team and its facility there, but the money for later years would go to stand up additional units. There's one that they plan on announcing sometime this summer in Boston. Other cities that they're considering with robust technology corridors, Boston, I said Boston, Seattle, Cincinnati. I also think Austin, Texas is in the mix.
The plan ran into a roadblock just this week in the House Armed Services Emerging Threats and Capabilities Subcommittee. What happened?
Well, the committee is considering legislation that would limit funding for DIUx, about 20% of it, until the Defense Department produces a very detailed report about where the money's going, what type of outreach is being executed. Congress wants to see more transparency here. They also voiced concern that DIUx isn't really getting to the heart of issues with DoD acquisition. Contractors often complain that it's a long bureaucratic system with a lot of barriers.
Now, Tony, lawmakers aren't the only ones concerned about how commercial companies do business with the Pentagon. Silicon Valley CEOs say the acquisition process needs to be revamped. Tell us more about that.
Well, a panel of CEOs participated in a roundtable discussion at the Atlantic Council last week, and they all said they appreciate the DIUx, they appreciate the Pentagon and the new outreach efforts, but they said their problem is not with outreach, their problem is with the system itself. In fact, one CEO went as far as to say that they don't make reference of any government sales when pitching potential investors because venture capitalists just don't want to hear about government and government work. So I think there's a lot that has to be done in terms of becoming a stronger partnership there.
Now, before you go, put all of this into context for us. Carter wants to innovate and experiment, but Congress wants him to lay a solid foundation for DIUx. Are these goals entirely at odds with one another?
The two sides do not say they're at odds with each other. In fact, Congress says that they appreciate the DIUx, they are supportive of the efforts, but they want more transparency. They want to know where the money's going. They also want to, I think, bring attention to the fact that there is a lot of trouble with the DoD acquisition system in terms of regulation. And in the legislation they're considering, they use the word moats, that there are moats in the way of commercial technology companies from wanting to do business with DoD. DoD, on the other hand, I do not believe is at odds with Congress. I just think it's a matter of them coming together to try to be more transparent.
Tony Bertuca, Chief Editor at Inside the Pentagon. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.